Hey all, welcome to the channel. I'm Shri. I teach how to build apps with AI. In this tutorial, we'll quickly explain how you can start using Cursor as a beginner. Again, you don't need any coding experience for this tutorial. I'll be basically creating 3 tutorials on Cursor, which will come, in next few days. This is the very first tutorial, which explains you Cursor basics on how to exactly start using it. Tutorial 2 is gonna be more of advanced part of Cursor, wherein you'll be able to, master Cursor out of it, or let's say maximize custom Cursor. I'll be explaining MCP. I'll be explaining a lot of other features as well. And then tutorial 3 is more of going to be a tips and tricks on how to, make your Cursor workload 10x and how to use it like a pro. So for this tutorial, let's just quickly start out by building a Airbnb clone. So by building this clone, you'll be able to master all the essential and the basic features that you can play around with. And then let's just get straight in video. So what exactly is Cursor, right? Cursor is actually a new AI tool that is created by a bunch of genius people, from Silicon Valley. And then what this tool does is basically create software using AI. You can basically give instructions to this large language model, and then you can pretty much create software that is apps, websites, landing pages, everything that you can think of just through prompting. So why Cursor? Because I've used a bunch of other editors as well, like Windsurf, Klein, VR AI. I mean, all of them are quite okay, but when it comes to Cursor, Cursor has an edge because I personally use Cursor for a lot of my projects. I've also used it for my Shopify app, which is making close to 5K a month. So I'll also teach how to build Shopify apps in later stages of the tutorial as well. So Cursor is quite good, and nothing beats Cursor at the moment. Again, a very opinionated answer from me, but this tutorial is about Cursor, so let's continue with that. Okay, so setup and installation. Specifically, it's very straightforward to install Cursor on Mac and Windows. Very straightforward. If you go to their website, which is go to Cursor, so go to Cursor AI, Google it out. You get see options for Mac, and then you can download it for Mac and pretty much install it out. I already have the software, by the way. And then if you want all download, you have downloads for Windows. You also have downloads for Linux and everything. Again, if you can install a video game, you can install Cursor. Straightforward. So that was on the installation. If you have any issues in the installation, just comment out. I'll help you out with that. Okay. So let's get straight into the project, and let's just build this Airbnb clone with all basic functionalities, and so it helps you explain and basically learn the Cursor quite an intuitive way. Okay, so what I need to do is I'll just open Cursor. Okay, so I'll open a project. I'll create a new project which is desktop build apps using Cursor, or I'll create the application and the basic Cursor tutorial. I already have this folder, so open. Okay, so I'll just maybe this is the old file that we have. Okay, so I already have the project over here. I'll create a new conversation over here. So this is very fresh start. Let us just quickly think of exactly what do we need to build. So basically we need to build a Airbnb clone, right? So Airbnb clone, right? So what do we need? What do we need in terms of features? What do we need in terms of pages? What do we need in terms of functionalities? Is what we need to think. So before actually before actually deeping down on the Cursor, what you need to do is basically plan everything out, because planning is essential when it comes to any AI. So let us just use project requirement doc for Airbnb clone, which actually explains on how to build this clone. Okay, so let us just ask Cursor right away. So we go to ask mode. By the way, Cursor has got few modes over here. So agent mode is wherein you will be able to create full-fledged applications right from start to end. Let's say if you have application to build which has got 10 different modules, you can just name all the modules in a file and just refer it back. And in the agent mode, you just get to ask Cursor, hey, this is what that application module is, and then we'll just start building our one to end. Task mode is more of on the let's say if you already have a large code base, and then you want to actually ask questions to it, and let's say you want to ask where is the file, so you can just pretty much ask it at that matrix query out. It does not edit anything out. And then the final mode is edit mode. So edit mode is basically the mode wherein you get to edit a bunch of files. Let's say if you already built the functionality and you want to edit a small changes onto it, so you can go for edit mode. So for now, let's click on ask, because I want to plan something out on how to build Airbnb clone. Okay, so what you need to do is you can also select a bunch of models over here. So I have got 3.7 Sonnet, which also comes with a thinking mode. So let us just activate that thinking mode as well. You can also use Gemini Flash. You can also use a bunch of other modules. By the way, thinking mode is only activated on Sonnet Max and Gemini. For other models, you can use Cursor Small, GPT 3.5, Haiku, and all of DeepSeek Chat as well. Okay, for DeepSeek, again, I already have a video in the channel. You can refer it on how to exactly integrate DeepSeek APIs with Cursor. For now, I'll quickly use 3.7 Sonnet with thinking mode. So I'll start by saying I want to build a Airbnb clone create a PRD in terms of pages and features to add. And basically I'll also instruct that I want to build it out in Next.js. So it's a framework from React and the UI in shared CN library. Okay, so it's simple prompt. Again, if you're not aware of Next.js and shared CN, don't get worried. I'll explain you exactly how to use this framework to be able to create software, with just basic instructions. Okay, so let's just quickly, create a PRD. So I've sent this to the ask mode. Now, basically, it's trying to think. Here we include product requirement documents. This document is basically outlines all the requirements for, building a Airbnb clone using Next.js and Shardstone library. The application will allow users to browse, search, and book properties as well as and list their own properties for it. Okay. It also gives your tech stack, which is styling has to be staged with CSS, authentication has to be Next.js or Cloud, database, ORM, and all of that. We'll not get into a lot of details. We'll also, we'll also visit these details afterwards, maybe in few advanced tutorials. But for now, let's focus on front end and the styling part of it. So we also got the pages structure, which is landing page, search results page, property page, authentication pages, user detail page. All right, perfect. I'll just quickly give a saying. Perfect. Let's create a. Now this has to be in the agentic mode, because in agentic mode you can create and edit files. So let's create instructions. Let's name it as project instructions.md file and to reard in it. I'll just quickly create this command. Now it actually starts on to for 2 seconds, and then it actually creates a new project, which is project instruction.md. Now you don't need to switch on this thinking mode, because now it's more of agentic behavior. So you don't need to do a lot of thinking process, because just for running the commands you don't need the thinking process. So it will just start creating a project instruction.md file. You'll see it over here. So this is how it got created. You see this file over here. Just click on accept, and now that gets created. So we got our file. We'll just switch on and disable the thinking mode now. So what I need to do is basically create a new project, because I just need to start building this project now, right? So what I'll do is I'll just go to again create a new conversation. So I'll explain why I'm creating new conversation. Basically, every single time when you create conversation, it actually starts a new session. So you can pretty much add a new context to it. What I mean by context is, let's say if you want to build a login functionality, you also have to pass in the logging functionality related files. That is the context for AI to actually check, oh, okay, I have this logging functionality files, and now I just need to edit within these files and not touch other files. I'll also come onto these aspects on how to maximize building everything using cursor rules, so that you don't miss out on building these functionalities, and you don't get too much lost in building this functionality. Okay, so for now I already have the project instruction. So let's just give the cursor a step-by-step guideline on how to start with this. Perfect. So let's start to build the project. Let's start to create the project, because we don't have a project at the moment in terms of Next.js file. Refer to project instructions and do it step by step. Basically, it will try to create the necessary files, and then do it step by step. Okay, so let's first create so this is the new command that it will try to run, which is npx create new next app, latest Airbnb clone, TypeScript, Tailwind is, all of this is more of a new command that you can actually create a React app. So if you go to a React documentation, go to Next.js docs, you'll see how to start installation. So you will see all the commands over here. So Next.js npx create React app. So this is how it is actually referring back, because I told we need to create an app in Next.js. So it has already got a lot of documentation around Next.js. So it works very good with Next.js. That's why I chose Next.js. Okay, so just click on run command. It will actually try to run all the commands. So if you click on yes, yes, and then it will try to install everything. Okay, click on yes, and then just give a bunch of clicks, and it should install all of the essential libraries, all of that in this new folder structure that we just installing the files. Okay, perfect. So successful. This is now done. Now let's navigate to the project directory and install shardcn. So what we need to do is, again, cd Airbnb clone, npm install. Everything is already there. You just need to accept and install. Now this actually is called as vibe coding. If I go back to a tweet from a guy named Andrej Karpathy, is actually a genius behind OpenAI. So if you go to this tweet, there's actually a new coding called as vibe coding, wherein you fully give into the vibes and embrace exponential and forget that the code even exists. That means it's possible because LLMs like Cursor with Sonnet are getting too good. And basically what you need to do is just, I'm literally giving instructions in terms of plain text, and everything is getting converted into code, which I don't need to care about at all. I just need to, run the commands and accept it, the changes. And then based on the output, I'll just, accept and decline and reprompt again. So again, the additional dependencies were also installed. Now it's trying to give a command saying, okay, let's also additional install for the project. Now it's trying to install Nextauth, a Prisma, a client, React Hook, Zod, all of those that are, in the tech stack. Okay, so let's just quickly run this command as well. Okay, it's actually trying to install that as well. Perfect. This is also getting installed. By the way, you need to have Node and a bunch of other tools to be able to, create this project. So it's also creating StatsCN components, create a proper configuration. Okay, run. So update the StatsCN CLI, run command, and it actually added StatsCN to this folder as well. So if you click on yes, it is also perfectly installed Tailwind CSS and also trying to install a bunch of StatsCN component. Let's run this command as well. So we'll try to install all of this. Okay, run command, checking registry. Okay, use force, and now it will just install the dependencies over there. So everything is getting installed in this folder, which is app, and then you have all the details over here. So you see all of that just adding to the new project that we have just created. So you see components, and then you have all the buttons and all the things. Okay, so now it's trying to look into the structure of the app directory. It's also trying to look into the structure of components directory, and everything is there. Okay, so this is the new folder. Let's create the folder structure for our pages. So we don't need to do all of that. You just can cancel, and this is the new state that we have. Okay, so now what we need to do is basically I have this file outside of the project folder because we can have it over here, but for quite standard practices, what we need to do is I'll create a new folder over here, which is instructions, and I'll just paste the project instructions to the instructions folder. This one, yeah, move. Okay, so we have the instruction folder, and now we have the project instructions. Okay, now we have the instructions folder, and then under instructions we have the project instructions. What I will also do is open this Airbnb clone into a new tab actually, because what we need to do is currently we got multiple folders over here. If we got multiple folders, cursor will get confused. So I just want to open this in a dedicated terminal. So I'll just close this up and I'll open cursor. Okay, open project, and then desktop, build apps using cursor, and then we have the basic cursor tutorial Airbnb clone. I'll open this up. So now I have everything in the root folder, which makes cursor understand the overall hierarchy of the files, and they'll just quickly open project instructions. There's one thing that is missing for cursor to pick up, which is the current directory structure. So what I'll do is I'll also add a field which is current directory structure. So we basically tell cursor that this is the current directory structure, and it actually puts everything into a proper hierarchy. So I'll just type this command, which is open to terminal, new. So tree, I'll just check. This is the tree option. I ignore. I think I'll just paste this command, which is help. Okay, so I got this, which is tree L2, and then you can. So this is level 2 depth, so tree L2, and then I have to ignore the node modules. I can go with L3, so I basically understand every single thing. So this is the complete file structure. I'll just copy paste this file. I'll also give this command, by the way, copy, and then just paste it up over here. So cursor now understand what is my current directory structure. We're good with this as well. Okay, perfect. Now let's just start building this project. By the way, let's try to run this project. If you plan to run, you just have to press this command, which is npm run dev. Try to run this command using node. For node we need to use this. Okay, I'll just use nvm use 20. So I already have the node virtual machine installed. By the way, if you need a dedicated tutorial on how exactly we need to set up things before the tutorial, which is installing the node JavaScript library and everything, I'll create a dedicated video for that. So just comment down. I'll basically create a new video on that. So now I'm using node 20. I'll just create npm run dev. This gets start to a new server. This is the new server that will get started, and I'll just copy paste this to my new tab, which is over here. So let's see what exactly is this. So it's starting to run. Okay, model does not exist. I got this error. I'll just copy paste this error, which is copy completely, and then just paste it to the cursor. I'll just remove this. When I run the project, I get this error. So this is the error that I got. Okay, so fix it up step by step. I'll help you fix that error. Looks like there's missing dependency. Everything is just getting created and fixed by AI. You just need to install the libraries. Okay, so give me a fix. I'm trying to install the library, and then boom. Now let's run the project. Okay, npm run. I already have the project running, so I'll just quickly go this is all done. Now I see this page that means the app is working. Okay, so get started by editing app.tsx and save your and deploy the changes instantly. Okay, now I have the app running. What I will do is I'll start implementing the features one by one, which is page structure, landing page. Okay, and this is the outline that we discussed, which is hero section with search functionality, property category, everything. Okay, now one thing that I've also noticed is if you use Claude 3.5's 3.7 Sonnet with thinking, it actually creates one of the best UIs that AI can do in the very first. So let's just start. I'll also create a new file which is called as I'll also create a new folder called as project. Let's create a new file under instruction which is project progress.md. Okay, now this will actually publish all the project progress that has been done so far. So we get to track of all the models that we have done. Okay, now what you need to do is I'll also add a rule over here because this is gonna go at the project level. If I go to settings, cursor settings, now I'll also go into a more advanced stuff, but for now, let's just try to add a simple rule. So I already have some rules in the user rules, which is you are a senior front-end developer, expert in React, Next.js. I can pretty much go to a directory called as cursor directory. So this one, and then this one. Okay, this one. So basically TypeScript, Vercel, all of that. You basically have all the system prompts with you. Just copy paste this system prompt and paste it up on the users section, user rules. So you have a complete system prompt over here. Now what I need to do is add a new rule because this is more of progress project progress tracking rule. What it will do is basically commit the new progress every single change that it does after implementing the feature to this new file called as project progress. Okay, I'll come back to this point. Don't worry about this. It's just a basic thing to have for now, but I'll explain this up in later tutorials. Okay, URL content, you can paste the files over here. Okay, so basically what we need to do is project progress tracker. Okay, always once the functionality page has been completely implemented from the UI and create a trace in this file, which is progress tracking.md. That's it. You have to add a check mark just after the page name. That's completed. So I've given like very basic rules for now, and I'll keep it as always. So you can also select always, auto attach, agent requested, manual. I'll come to this point afterwards. For time being, let's just quickly summarize it up. Okay, so now what I need to do is basically start implementing this feature. So I already have everything in my context, which is project rules, project instructions, and everything. So let's start with implementing the landing page in the project instructions.md. Okay, do it step by step. Once it's done, just track the progress in project progress.md. Okay, so I'll just click on enter. So what we'll do is implement the landing page for Airbnb. Let's first explore the current structure of the project to understand what's working. Okay, so now based on the project instruction, we got already the current structure. It has actually listed every single thing. It's reading app.page. Now let's create a plan for implementing the landing page. So plan for implementing landing page, because we already have a plan over here. If you see hero section with search functionality, all of this, right? So let's just create a header component. Now it's trying to create a header component. Let's just wait till it creates a header component. Okay, everything is just getting created. Now look at the future. I can literally see new tools coming up. I can literally see builders building projects all using AI, and it's also creating hero section as well. So if you go to components, all of that is getting created in a much more modular way. So with the best practices, whatever you have in the rules. So create a property filter. It's trying to create a property filter as well. Okay, and remember, we also gave our progress tracker. So once this is updated, we'll actually give everything over here. So if you go to the output over here, nothing has come up because we haven't accepted any of the changes that it has prescribed. So it will try to implement the popular listing section as well. Okay, it will just stop when everything is done. So if you go to this, it's trying to create this one. So how it works section is what it will create next. So see, and how it works section. So this is working because everything is planned, and AI can hallucinate if you don't have a plan. So that's why always have a project requirement with all the details that you want to add a project, and then you can pretty much start building everything without losing the track of what you want to build. So it's the final thing is you have to commit all the changes to Git, because even if AI loses out on some of the functionalities, let's say we also have got a lot of restore checkpoint options in the cursor, but the thing is you can't just rely on the checkpointing. You have to create commits. Every single commit should go to GitHub, and then we have all the track of the project. Okay, so it was also run into some linter issues issues because we actually tried to add, all of that to TypeScript. That's why it just signs off retrospects and then, recreates the code that thing that AI thinks has got some issue. So it's also adding the newsletter functionality, newsletter subscription, okay, and then footer with the links. So final thing is footer with the links. Everything is getting created step by step because this is the agentic mode in the cursor. Now the final cursor thing, let's just wait for the footer to get created. So you got the footer as well. Now just concluding everything. Now set up the entire main page layout and use these three components. Okay, we got the main page layout over here. Now just trying to set up everything up. So change the overall page. You might also run into a bunch of issues, but don't worry, you can pretty much remove the issues just by reprompting it up to AI. So let's add the necessary public assets. We got the new assets created, okay, added, and then let's create a placeholder image for Airbnb. Okay, it's also getting created. Airbnb, my god, it's also creating a SVG image. Look at that. Now how cool is that? You just have to accept and wipe code with it. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just accept the changes, see to it what changes are getting propagated to the app, and then react to the instructions accordingly. Reprompt it if you want. So this is going to get created as well. It's taking some time starting to add the PNG. And now let's update the project progress. Okay, this is the project progress. Everything is done. And now let's create a note about the placeholder as images. Now it's creating a readme just for the final commit. So you can see everything is just created through AI. So we created the Airbnb note as well on the features tab. So we have successfully accomplished everything and then added the project and updated. Okay, so just click on accept all. Changes are accepted. And now what you need to do is refresh the page. You see this error coming up, which is abort CN from, and there is 100% chance that you might run into issues. Don't worry. You just have to, what you need to do is just go to the console and there's an option called as add to chat over here. So if you go over here somewhere, just click on this, you'll see an option over here. Just highlight this section. Okay. And you click add to chat. So I got this error. Please fix it up step by step. It has already got the context because building the functionality. Basically, you're building the functionality. Now it's trying to do is this happens because shared CN UI components are trying to import a utility function CN from file that does not exist. Let's create a file. Okay, run the command. It ran the command and now it's trying to create a file which is utils.ts. Now this will basically create a new file which is tailwind merge. Let us just accept the changes that it's trying to give. Okay, run command, tailwind merge, and now it is installed as well. Let's check if there are any issue with set CN component. It was specifically mentioned in the error. Run the development server. So we already have this running. Just cancel the command over here. So let's go to this. And now we ran into this issue, which is we're importing the component that needs use state. This React hook only works with, okay, just copy the compare this entire error and just paste it over. I get this error now. Always paste the error in this formatted way so the cursor understands. Fix it step by step. Okay, I'll fix the error step by step. The issue is related to use React. Now it's trying to change and add use client over here. Change the overall thing, and let's check the other component that need use clients. It's also trying to check for other pages as well. So necessary. Okay, it's also added use client in the newsletter as well. That is also getting rendered. Again, checking if there are any other imports. Okay, hero section, again use client. So you see how interactive it's trying to check and how to edit and how to debug everything using this agentic pair. It's so powerful. Once you learn everything on how to use this tool, you will be able to create literally anything from scratch. So featured listing, again use client. So testimonial, again use client. It's trying to add all of that because it's found this is what I need to add everywhere because this might give error to some components. Okay, so then we have identified everything, just summed it up, and then what we'll do is basically accept the changes. So once you accept the change, there you go. Just with this prompting, you see all of the Airbnb pages with that Airbnb logo, add weeks, add guests, search. All of them is so cool. It's literally looking like a Airbnb, to be honest. I can't differentiate between the real Airbnb website and the clone one. So and remember, this is all has been created by AI with just few prompts in, with just accepting the changes that you wanted over here. So that was it on the tutorial. I'll expand on these features, the next feature, this is search and all of that in the next videos because this video is getting too lengthy. And I'll also explain a lot of other features, which is advanced ones on how to use how to use docs, how to use rules, how to use web to create full-fledged applications. So thanks for watching the video. And now if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe. I create a lot of content around building apps with AI. And thanks a lot for watching the video. Bye.